Construction fails, how superintendents fail. In this video, we're going to give you a how-to guide for how you can fail as a superintendent and not only take your own role and hurt the people around you, but also how to take the job down and probably not blame yourself and to get credit for being a firefighter. That is the focus of this video today, and if that's what you came for, you have come to the right place. So I've got a list of 7 things that you can use tomorrow as a how-to if you really want to fail as a superintendent. Now, why would you want to fail as a superintendent? Well, if you fail as a superintendent and find a way to blame it on other people and to give excuses, which 2 really good ones, I just want to say. Like if you want to fail as a superintendent, or if I do, here's some ready-made excuses. The newer generation doesn't know how to work. They're just lazy. They're too addicted to their phones. We've got supply chain issues. It was COVID-19. It wasn't that we've had these problems for centuries now. And our industry is broken. Like the construction, like we can't find good help, right? Those are my ready-made excuses. And so if I fail as a superintendent, not only do I have to put in less effort, not only can I come to work getting significance fighting fires, not only can I create chaos and a massive amount of destruction, but I have somebody to blame it on. And then what I do, don't tell anybody else, but what I do is I will actually tell my employer that I'm a firefighter fixer, that I can come in and fix the fire that I started, and then I'll get promotions and they'll adore me. So I'm like an arsonist that is also the fire chief at the same time. I'm a firefighter arsonist. I'm creating fires that I get to put out because then I get credit for putting them out and people just love me. That's why there is some motivation for us to really fail at our positions. But you're probably wondering, like, Jason, don't tease me and entice me with this promise of failing. Tell me how. So that's what I'm going to do right now. By the way, if you want more videos on failing, we've got videos on failing, how to be an owner's rep, a PM, an owner, how to tank a project. So if your goal is to create a massive amount of destruction and chaos and to get credit for having to go fix it, you'll want to subscribe to this channel because we've got a whole bunch of videos on how to fail. Number 1 failure point, not holding people accountable. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to make it seem like it's impossible to keep a job site clean, impossible to keep it safe, and impossible to keep it organized. Because what happens is if you or I are weak in this role and we maintain the chaos and we don't hold anybody accountable, we can always badmouth the trades and we can always badmouth people. So if I badmouth the trades and I badmouth the workers and the foremen, that reinforces the fact that they're stupid, right? And that the job site needs me to come do my best to rein in all of these people who are incompetent. Now, you and I both know that the workers and the foremen and the trades are not stupid, and actually they're the only reason we're getting this job done. But if I keep it messy enough and unorganized, I can still blame them and elevate myself. That allows me to feel better about myself when I go home, and it gives me something to complain about because I'm a negative person, and it gives me that firefighting opportunity. So do not, if you want to fail, do not hold people accountable and keep it clean, safe, and organized. Also, do not have standard systems. Do not have a stable delivery system, because if you start to have systems, if you start to have organization, if you start to have deliveries coming on time, then people will see that the trades are doing well. Then I don't have anyone to blame. Then my sense of self, my ego are hurt. I don't have the ability to come in and save the day. So you definitely don't want no standard systems, no stability for deliveries. So let's go on to number 2, how to fail at being a superintendent. Not delegating. Now this is a key one. This actually ties into number 3, which is keeping the plan in my head. So if you really want to fail, if I want to fail as being a superintendent, we can't delegate. Because as soon as we delegate, we train. And if we delegate and train, then other people will be enabled. And then there is a possibility that one day somebody will find out that they don't need me or that there's a better way. So in order to maintain all of the power on the job site, I'm going to keep everything, keep the plan in my head, and do everything. And that way they need me. There's no way they're going to get rid of me. I can do all of these shenanigans and never be called out for it because I am a leader with a million helpers instead of a leader who creates more leaders. The other thing is, do not utilize the project management team because then you can't badmouth them. Because if something goes down, right, and the owners want to call you and be like, hey, Jason, what happened? I've got to be able to point to the PM as being incompetent or the PEs, so I can't utilize them as a part of the team. I've got to be able to put them down and diminish them so that whenever my bosses call me and say, what the hell, I can blame them. So do not loop in your team into this communication. Do not delegate and utilize your team. And do not partner with the PM at all. Because essentially, you and I, we have the company by the throat because it's hard to find supers, right? So when it comes down to me or the PM, they're probably going to take my side because there's plenty of PMs. They're everywhere, right? But there's very few of us. So don't partner with the PM because if it's ever time for me to throw that guy or gal under the bus, we got that on lock and we can stay securely in our position. Number 3, keeping the plan in our head. I talked about that a little bit, but if you are a superintendent, you really want to fail and play savior with people and take the job down with you and blame everybody else, you got to keep that plan. You got to keep your cards close to your chest, to your vest, right? Don't let anybody know what the plan is. That way they're going to need you, right? So you'll be answering your phone all day, but when people see you answering the phone all day, they'll be like, oh my gosh, Jason's so important. Like, answer the phone, answer the phone, answer the phone, because I got it all right here. I didn't share it with anybody. In order for anybody to do what they need to do, they need to ask me. Dude, I feel so secure in my job now. Everybody needs me. I can't go anywhere. The other thing is I have a ready-made excuse for why I'm not home. I'm so busy. I'm so needed. And so the other thing is I don't want to do any of this lean stuff. Like they're talking to me about TACT and Last Planner and Scrum. Visual environments, enabling the foreman. What the? There's no way I'm doing that. So if I have the plan in my head, they can't even weigh in on a pull plan. I'd like to see them try to do a pull plan or a look ahead plan or a weekly work plan. Good luck, guys. If I keep it here, I keep all the power and I do not have to waste 1 minute learning all that garbage lean stuff. Number 4, little or no builder experience, right? So if I want to take my role, well, actually, I'll just do exactly what most people do. I'll just come directly out of college and ask for this position. That way I don't have to learn field engineering. I don't have to learn layout. I don't have to learn technology. That then reinforces my current I don't use computers like mindset, right? And then I don't have to learn how to read drawings properly. I don't have to learn basics of safety, quality, or how to really like connect with the craft. So if I can skip the FE, PE roles and just go straight into assistant or project superintendent, I don't have to create connection with these guys. I don't want to like badmouth somebody I like, right? So I'm not going to go connect with those guys and be in those builder positions. It's easier for me to just think of them as objects. So obviously the least amount of builder knowledge that I have, the better off I am, because then people won't ask me for to solve problems or to answer RFIs. I can just delegate that to somebody else and just be like, figure it out yourself. I don't really have much experience with that. So I strategically skipped FE position, PE position, doing that layout role, doing those lift drawings, learning how to be a builder, and connecting with the craft, which I would like to think I'm better than. We all know that I'm not really. But you and I, we need to create that impression that we're important, right? Okay. Number 5, lack of organization. Man, you do not want to be organized, because when things are organized, then everybody can see what's going on and then they'll find out it's my fault. In chaos, you're able to distract everybody enough and keep the blame off of yourself. Number 6, not using technology. Like I said, I didn't do those roles. I didn't use technology. I'm a builder. I don't know how to use computers. I don't know how to type and like clickety-clack and stuff like that. I'm an old school super. I don't use tech. And the reason is, between you and me, like if I don't use computers, then I've got a ready-made excuse to not do work, and I can just walk around and do my dream job every day. Walk around and point and tell people things they already know. If a foreman comes up and says, we got a problem, I can be like, hey, you've got a problem, you better go fix that. Now I'm significant, but I don't have to do any actual real work. I can always pawn it on somebody else. I can always pawn it off on somebody else, and I can like literally just like walk around the job. I don't have to do any real work. So I love, love, love the excuse, I don't use computers. I'm not really a techie guy. And you should too if you want to fill out this position, because if you start to learn tech, they're going to actually like expect you to do your job, and we don't want that. And number 7, not learning continually. If you want to take your job, you definitely do not want to read books, because that's just going to brainwash your mind into doing it a different way, into respecting people. Ooh, like that's so gross. Like, or like finishing on time without a crash landing. Dude, if we started to implement lean, think of the consequences. We would have stability, we would have flow, we would have respect, we would finish jobs on time. There wouldn't be any more fires, no need for me. I would actually have to step up and do my job. We don't want any of that. So I'm literally going to start telling people, I've been doing this the same way for 30 years. No way to change. I don't want any of this new stuff. And literally my go-to is, I don't read books. I haven't read a book since I was in high school. And if you keep that impression, then the leaders of companies will think that supers don't read books, don't learn, and can't do it. We'll keep the expectations of the superintendents this level really, really low. Not too low to where we're worthless, but like way down here to where they don't expect us to actually do our job. And then once we get the whole industry thinking that we're incompetent, then we're off the hook, man. Like we'll just, like the PMs can overcome anything that we're not doing. So definitely, if you want to take your job, do not start learning. Do not start reading books. Do not learn about lean. So really, I've given you the recipe. Like, why would you want to go learn and do things better? Like, why would you want to create stability? Then that's just going to expect more from us. And which of us wants, as superintendents, want to like rise to the occasion and actually learn and like actually be psychologically safe and like actually have to grow? That's all painful. So let's just not follow my pattern, and you'll tank your role, you'll take the project with you, and you can blame it on enough people to where owners and business leaders still think they need you because we've got them by the neck. We have the leverage because they need us. This is the how-to. I hope you've enjoyed it. We need to spread this message. Please like and subscribe. If all superintendents were able to like tank their role in the same way, then none of us would ever shine and none of us would ever have to do better. And we've set a standard that people cannot break. And I can literally just be lazy day in and day out and stay in my fixed mindset and be miserable. That's my point. I hope you follow my message. If we're in it together, we can keep this mediocrity going. None of us can step up and be great, because once that happens, they're going to expect it from all of us, and we can't have that happen. As a part of this video, I want you to know that I'm going to give you a Canva graphic exactly showing how to tank your role and your project. And I do want you to know that at least at Elevate and at Lean Superintendent, one of the things that Jason teaches, we do the opposite of that. And we in our Super PM boot camps train supers how to really, really shine. So if you don't want to tank that role, come to our Super PM boot camp, learn how to do it the right way. Elevate, do it right, respect people. That will end up having an environment that is more respectful. People will know what they're doing on the job sites, and we will protect and preserve families at home. So if you want to do it the right way, give us a call. But I hope you've enjoyed this little bit funny video about how to fail as a superintendent. On we go.